Chapter 9. When I texted my older childhood friend asking if it was big down there. Saturday morning the rain outside was pouring down as if God had forgotten to turn off the faucet. I curled up in my quilt, rolled over, and planned to sleep in until I naturally woke up. Then my phone rang. Caller ID Shenbapi boss version Jiang Xiaoning. The voice on the other end was calm and heartless. Send me that MA agreement from the company computer right now and print a copy to bring over. I shot up in bed. Glancing at the rain lashing against the window, I tried to make my tone sound as pathetic as possible. Boss, there's a red rainstorm warning today. Can't we talk about this on Monday? No, we're signing the contract on Monday. Then I'll send you the electronic version. The printer is broken. I need the paper version. His tone was indifferent. See you in half an hour. That jerk. He's doing this on purpose. I glared at my phone, grinding my teeth, wanting to push back just a little more. I typed quickly. It's raining really hard here. Is it big over there? My intention was to hint to him, the rain is so heavy, should we reschedule? But the message only sent halfway. Is it big over there? It was too late to unsend it. 3 seconds later Shenhuai replied, big. Do you want to see? I felt like I was suffocating, too. The grudge I hold against Shenhuai, or rather, our messy history started in kindergarten. Our dads were college classmates, and our families had lived across from each other for 30 years. We were practically attached at the hip growing up. The only difference was that my main mission was to prank him, and his was to get back at me. At 6, I cut the feet off his Transformers action figure, and he took apart my Barbie doll. At 10, he snitched on me for secretly eating spicy noodles, getting me punished to stand in the hallway. In retaliation, I shoved his collection of comic books into the trash can in the girls' restroom. At 16, we were assigned to the same study group. We both ended up turning in blank papers for the monthly exam. It was later discovered that during every evening study hall, we'd been passing notes under our desks, insulting each other. At 22, we both entered the financial sector. He became a partner at a private equity firm, and I became a junior staff member in the marketing department here. I never expected that a year later he would acquire my company. Before I could even process the crisis of losing my job, he promoted me to the position of executive assistant and doubled my salary. Fine. For the sake of the money, I tolerated it. Son, in the end, I was forced to leave the house. It wasn't because I was afraid of him, but because he actually sent me a selfie of himself sitting on the sofa, legs crossed, in a sharp suit. If you don't come soon, I'm going to start docking your pay. The face of a true capitalist. I gritted my teeth and called a car, but halfway there, the downpour flooded the streets so the car couldn't get through. I had no choice but to walk the rest of the way in the rain. By the time I reached his door, I looked like a drowned rat. My clothes were soaking wet and clinging to my body. Water was dripping from my hair. And I looked as pathetic as a female ghost that had just been fished out of a river. Shenhuai paused for a moment when he opened the door, his gaze lingering on me for 2 seconds before he reached out and yanked me inside. Well, someone who doesn't know to bring an umbrella in the rain still remembers where my house is. I angrily slammed the folder against his chest. The file, take it. He took it, tossed it casually onto the table, then grabbed the towel and handed it to me. Go take a shower. I froze. Huh? If you drip water all over my floor in your current state, the housekeeper is going to yell at me. Fine, that makes sense, for after my shower, I realized I hadn't brought a change of clothes. I had to wrap myself in a towel and poke my head out of the bathroom door. Hey, Shenhuai. He walked over and tossed one of his t-shirts to me. Wear this for now. I put it on and found it was a bit too big. The neckline was loose and baggy, leaving my collarbone completely exposed. Where's your hairdryer? In the bedroom. I walked into his room to look for the hairdryer, but my gaze suddenly froze on a photo frame on the bookshelf. It was my high school graduation photo. No, not just that photo. Next to it was a photo of me from a debate competition in college, and another of my back view when I went to the beach. The most shocking part was that one of them was even from my elementary school graduation, showing me with pigtails, grinning widely. He actually kept that, Shenhuai? I turned around, narrowing my eyes at him. Explain this. He stood at the bedroom door, the tips of his ears turning visibly red. His eyes darted away for a second before he walked over with a calm expression. Just photos. Why do you have so many photos of me? They look good, huh? He took a deep breath, suddenly walked over to the nightstand, pulled open the drawer and took out a small box. Inside were things I had accidentally left at his house over the years. Erasers, hairpins, candy wrappers, notes. There was even a button I lost in middle school. What kind of perverted behavior is this, Jiang Xiaoning? He finally looked up at me, his voice a bit lower than usual. The fact that I like you, couldn't you tell? My brain short-circuited. Ha ha ha, Shenbapi, have you been working overtime until your brain turned to mush lately? Or have you been driven mad by market volatility? I laughed dryly and took 2 steps back, almost slipping on the floor. He frowned, strode over, and firmly grabbed my wrist. Do I look like I'm joking? Crap. My heartbeat was so loud I could hear it myself. Let go. I broke free from his grip and ran out blindly. I just remembered I left the gas on. I'm going home, Jiang Xiaoning. I didn't dare look back. I grabbed my coat, rushed out of his door, and even forgot my umbrella. 5. The next morning I went to work with dark circles under my eyes, determined to play dead until the end. But the moment I stepped into the elevator, I found Shen Huai standing inside. He looked sharp in his suit, staring at me calmly. Did you sleep well? Very well, President Shen. I pressed the button for my floor with a stiff face. The rain was heavy last night, so I slept soundly. He chuckled softly. Is that so? I thought you'd have insomnia. He is definitely mocking me. The following days were absolute hell mode. During the morning meeting, he announced in front of the whole group, Assistant, Jiang processed the documents very well yesterday. At lunch, he happened to appear in the company cafeteria and sat directly across from me. When getting off work, he leaned against the elevator entrance with a half smile. Want a ride? Every time, I found an excuse to slip away, even going so far as to claim I had a sudden onset disease that causes arrhythmia when seeing the boss. However, fate loves to play tricks on me. On Friday, during the team building event, we drew lots for groups. I ended up in the same group as Shen Huai. My fingers trembled slightly as I held a slip of paper. He stood beside me, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. It seems it's fate. Lil. The team building activity was an escape room. We were assigned to the horror hospital theme. As soon as we entered the room, I was terrified by the eerie background music and the fake blood props. My scalp felt numb. Shen Huai, on the other hand, was incredibly calm, even cracking the combination lock with one hand in his pocket. I shrank into the corner, putting on a brave face. You don't think this will make me give in? He didn't even look back. If you're scared, just grab my sleeve. Who's scared? I snapped. I'm just contemplating the meaning of life. He suddenly stopped in his tracks, turned around, and walked straight over to pin me against the wall. Jiang Xiaoning. What do you want? You've been avoiding me for an entire week. He lowered his head, his eyes dark with danger. Isn't it time you paid your debt? I lost my nerve instantly. What? What debt? He scoffed softly, leaning down to whisper in my ear. Guess how many photos of you I've saved all these years. You pervert. He let out a low laugh. Do you want to see the most twisted one? My heart was pounding. I was just about to curse him out when an NPC suddenly jumped out from behind me. I screamed and leaped straight into Shen Huai's arms. Damn it, I fell for it. 7. After we got out of the escape room, my face was burning as I tried to pull away, but that bastard actually locked his grip around my wrist and dragged me all the way to the meeting spot. President Shen, have you lost your mind? I hissed in a low voice. He looked completely calm. I haven't lost it, I just don't want to wait any longer, so... The entire company watched in shock as their aloof boss refused to let go of the little marketing assistant. Then, right in front of everyone, he lowered his head and asked, Can you admit that you like me now? Who said I like you? My ears were so hot they felt like they were on fire. Then why is the love letter you wrote back in middle school still hiding in my drawer? What the hell? I forgot. I had a crush on this guy when I was young and clueless, and I actually stuffed a love letter into his drawer. It was such a humiliating memory, how could he still be holding onto it? And now he was humiliating me in public. I froze on the spot as the teasing from our colleagues erupted like thunder. After that, I got tagged like crazy in the company group chat. The history was filled with messages, live from marketing. No wonder President Shen suddenly gave the assistant a raise last month. One from finance, I knew it. Last week he asked me what kind of gift would be appropriate for a girl. Admin sister. Oh my. I could tell something was going on between them ages ago. And that guy Shen Huai, while still holding my hand in broad daylight, posted a message in the group. Shen Huai, yes, she belongs to me now.